A customer suffers from toxin buildup in his cells as he can't detox efficiently. I recommended the Trainin so that his cells work better, but he said that he can't take omega-6. Okay, I suggest the benefits of the Trainin will outweigh the tiny amount of omega-6 he would get in the Trainin. When he did take Trainin a while ago, it did help him as he battled with constipation. So yes, our grain oils naturally have an omega-6 content. How would you answer that question? That can go to anybody.
I would, we need omega-6. It's not that we don't need omega-6. It is one of the parts of our diet, and we need it. It's just that we have too high a concentration and ratio compared to the omega-3s. And so you're getting more of the inflammatory aspects of omega-6 without the balancing anti-inflammatory effects of omega-3. And so the idea is to get in more omega-3 than aim at omega-6. But we still need omega-6. It's not like we...
It's an essential oil, right?
Yeah.
So the benefits of Trainin would outweigh that.
I always remember Dr. Don Lawson saying, this is a slightly different example, but people who suffer with lactose intolerance, for instance, improve. This was years ago, going on to the NutriShake, which has lactose in it. And the reason being is that by getting all of those 22 amino acids regularly, it far outweighed the short-term problems of the lactose intolerance. And so ultimately, those people were able to move away from the lactose intolerance as opposed to an allergy. Allergies and intolerance are two different things. Okay. And, it's much the same as that, I think. The benefits of what the Trainin can do to the metabolism within the cell far outweighs any of the effects of the omega-6 that you're getting along with it.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Okay, next question. Our NeoLife tea. Some of our clients, particularly those in sports, have questioned the amount of caffeine therein. Is it suitable for them? Like, it's a good question. Anybody specifically like to answer that?
Yeah, I'll comment, Drew. I mean, it is a valid question, and I think at one point, and I could be wrong now, but it's not, caffeine is not on any banned list in terms of sports people. Some people were certainly overdoing it and using it as a kind of a stimulant, if you like, or an artificial energizer, because they were going in excess. So it's got 85 milligrams, which is a reasonable amount for sure. But actually, to get perspective, and we did this exercise a while back, and I can remember certainly just some of the tea, the coffees that are around, and I think, and if I may mention, even Starbucks coffee is actually over 100 milligrams, one of the variations that they offer. So, just to get it in some perspective. But at the end of the day, it is up to the sports person to actually verify how much caffeine, or if there's a restriction on it. As far as I know, there isn't any restriction in terms of sport at the moment.
Okay, great. Okay, next question from Hoden. My question is the product a long-term diet? Speaking to Dr. Andre, you've been taking it for 30 years. How does it work? Okay, that's a good question. Does anybody want to answer that? Is it a long-term? Do we need to take our products long-term?
Absolutely. It's a diet. I mean, it's food. So the time to stop taking your nutrient supplements is when you stop eating.
Or stop breathing, right?
Well, that one too.
Okay, good. Yeah, And I agree. So, NeoLife, we never say to our customers or distributors, take our nutrition and eat rubbish. You're going to be okay. Our message to people is eat a well-balanced diet, eat intentionally. But we know with modern day lifestyles, modern day food processing, our modern day, so many factors, our diets are deficient in the nutrients that we used to get in the human food chain, right? Yeah. And that's why we're seeing so many of the problems, one of the reasons. And so that's where the NeoLife nutrition comes in. We plug those nutrient gaps. And so I don't care how well you're eating and how intentional you are, your diet is going to be deficient in certain nutrients. And that is where NeoLife comes in. And we can show you how to plug those those dietary gaps with good whole food nutrition. And that goes on forever. And as an example, my family have been taking the NeoLife products for 46 years, every day for 46 years. I am second generation on these products. My 3 children, I've got a 12-year-old and I've got twins who are 10. They are third generation on the NeoLife nutrition. And I think one of the greatest things this company has given my family is 3 generations of health and vitality. So it's a long-term, we're not looking for, nutrition is a long-term game. When is the best time to start your nutrition supplementation? Yesterday. And if you didn't start it yesterday, today's a good time to start. Okay. So next question. Please clarify, mind enhancement, is it fit for children? And dosage. Dosage only indicates the adult dose. Okay. It's a good question around the herbs. Liz, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we've actually, and I've taken my information from therapists and things out there who've given feedback. So we generally recommend if you're taking 2 a day, that, yeah, we would give it more to an adult, probably over 12 years old. That would be where our point would start. But certainly that people have had very good results using it on younger children. So I would halve the dose, start with 1, but it's made a big impact from what I've gathered from feedback for young children who have had concentration problems or, some sort of ADHD kind of diagnosis. So yes, you can use it, but I would start with 1 a day. Okay,
great. I'm going to put this question forward to Dr. van der Hoeven. Quite a few questions are coming in around cancer. Now, obviously, we're not, on this call, we're not saying, take this, you're going to be okay. That's not the message. But the question I want to ask is a general question that is kind of bringing all the questions together is, somebody on chemotherapy, can they take the products? And I think the best way we answer this is, what did you do while you were going through the chemotherapy? What did you take? What did you do?
This is a difficult question because unfortunately in the medical world, most people are told to take no supplements whatsoever while they're on treatment. And I've heard that over and over and over again, and it's happening right now. And that's really problematic because now you've got the person who's treating the patient, giving them instructions, and we can't override those instructions. What I did, fortunately, when I was diagnosed, I spoke to the doctor, and I'm very grateful for this. He said, well, you'd be wasting your money. And he didn't probe at all. So I said, well, I'm happy to waste my money. And I took the stuff anyway. But if you are told not to by your doctor, then you are left with a dilemma, because either you go with that, which I believe is flawed, or you take personal responsibility. And some of the doctors say, well, if you don't listen to me, then I wash my hands of you, or don't expect me to heal you or whatever. And that's a huge problem. So it becomes an individual decision. But what I recommend for people who do want to perhaps explore it is that what the doctors say is that it interferes with the effectiveness of the chemo. So if we give a nod to that, then my suggestion is that a few days before you actually having your chemo treatment, you stop taking the supplements. So you go off them for a few days, you get the treatment, and 2 days after that, you start taking them again. So you give a window of opportunity for the treatment to do its damage, and then you pick up again, because the treatment doesn't work long term. It does its killing of cells basically in the first few hours of being administered. It doesn't, and the reason it doesn't, you don't get treated more frequently than, say, every 3 weeks or whatever, is that your body needs time to recover from the damage that the chemo has caused. So what you then allow your body to do is to recover better in the break times. So do you follow? You take a window where you stop taking it just before and after the treatment, and then you pick up again in the in-between times. But I again say that if your doctor said don't do it, then you're on your own, buddy. The decision that you make is your own decision. It's the decision I took, and I would do it again. But you're putting most people are putting their lives in the hands of the doctors. And if you've done that, then you've got to follow their instructions, I suppose.
Can I also,
Yes,
I just
for sure.
add a little bit to that? Yeah, because I spent part of my working career working in oncology. So I know how opposed to nutrition that oncologists are. But, you know, we also have to remember that most of the supplements out there in the marketplace are synthetic. They're not natural. They give a figure of 95 to 98% of supplements that are being sold are actually made synthetically, and not enough people know the difference. And so it is up to all of us who know about NeoLife and the NeoLife difference to point out that no person who is ill should be denied real food. And I see nothing wrong with actually piling on the antioxidants, even during chemo. It's mainly the vitamin B and the folate and all those that are anti-chemo. So we need to really get out there with our difference and be proud of what we've got. Yeah.
And I just ask Cesar a question there. Cesar, you have the advantage of speaking to people as a medical person. People who are not medical people have a dilemma there. You know, for someone who's not medical, and I'm not, to say, I tell you to pack on the antioxidants, even although your doctor has said don't, are putting themselves in an extremely vulnerable position. So, because there's no defense then.
No.
You know, so it is a dilemma. And maybe, well, I can't offer a solution other than perhaps say, well, can I get someone for the patient to say to the doctor, would you mind if someone spoke to you about it? I don't know.
I would love to, Andre, but my story is actually quite a difficult one in that I've had a lot of fights with my colleagues.
Yeah.
I've come up against immense opposition, if I may say so. So it's not an easy fight. I must say, we are all up against a lot of pushback. And slowly but slowly the ship is turning, because people are realizing that perhaps what we are saying makes sense. And that's what attracted me to this opportunity, just the sense of it. And yeah, we just have to keep at it.
A question has come in off the back of that. What is the difference? What do you mean by synthetic? What is the difference between a synthetic vitamin and a NeoLife supplement?
Okay. we'll give an example of vitamin E. A lot of we know that the DL-alpha tocopherol that is packaged as vitamin E is actually a byproduct of, in the petroleum industry, as they process the petroleum. It's one of the byproducts that can be packaged and encapsulated and sold. That's what I mean by synthetic. Similarly with vitamin C, a real vitamin C should come from food. However, it can also be manufactured in a lab as ascorbic acid. Also, a lot of the B vitamins. That's what we mean by synthetic. When we're talking human natural, it should come from the human food chain, out of real food that is grown in the ground and is from plants that grow in the ground. Not, as somebody put it so nicely, from a plant that is a factory, because that's another name for a factory, a plant.
Okay.
So one has to be very, very careful.
Okay, so it's natural. Whole food means from the human food chain. And I'm guessing our body's going to prefer the whole food version rather to the synthetic man-made version from an absorption point of view, at least. And a question that I have for you guys is, with all your qualifications and your amazing stories, do you ever come across skeptical people? Or everyone you talk to becomes a customer or distributor, right? I'm guessing.
No.
No. Okay, good. So we're all human, and I'm asking that because I want our distributors to feel good about themselves. We will all come across those people. Doesn't matter who you are, how qualified you are, how amazing your story is. There will always be the skeptical or cynical person out there, and that's okay. It's not you, it's them. Our job is just to get out there and share, put ourselves out there and share. Their job is to say yes or no, not ours.
Yeah.
Okay. A question has come in. I know diabetes is a growing problem, a daily growing problem around the world. I know Africa has been identified as the continent with the fastest growing diabetes problem in the world. I don't want to talk here, but if somebody is diabetic, the question is, can they take zinc? Okay, that's the question. But the follow-up question I'd like to ask is, are there any products that a diabetic person could take to help manage their blood sugar levels?
Yes, I mean, if you look at the shake, that's all designed around being low glycemic index, to maintain good intake of protein and to keep the blood sugars down. You know, in my mind, one of the problems with diabetics is that they struggle with free radical damage. They produce free radicals, and it causes complications. And those complications are ultimately seen as being diabetic complications. So in my mind, a diabetic should be fed, but fed the right sort of stuff. So at least Formula 4, the Formula 4 Plus and the shake. You know, just by giving a diabetic that, and maybe using the shake as a meal replacement, if he's or she is able to and willing to do that. But make sure they're nourished. You know, make sure they're getting all the basics on a daily basis, so that ultimately, and this appears to be more and more in the research showing that if you can maintain a low blood sugar, well, not a low blood, but a normal blood sugar consistently as a diabetic, there is the possibility of getting to the point where your insulin receptors are grow, I guess is the way, but they become more sensitive again to the insulin. And that's one of the problems with diabetics, is they become insensitive to the amount of insulin that they're producing. And if you can nourish them, give them the real basics, and then help them to keep their blood sugars within normal limits consistently, the likelihood of them being able to come off some of their treatment, and I'm not saying we do that, that is obviously up to their physician, but if they can do that consistently, they can get to the point where they might well find that they're able to come off it. You will often find that one of the side effects of this would be a weight loss. And just by doing that, you change all of the risks that happen for a diabetic. It's very basic, but the thing is, we have those nutrients that are available to make a difference.
Can I also add, sorry, Barry,
yeah.
if I just chip in there. I found an interesting fact, and that is that blood sugar, glucose in the bloodstream, uses the same transport systems as vitamin C. They have identical modes of transportation. So if there is a high blood sugar, that will inhibit vitamin C absorption. And that's why we see all these dreadful complications of diabetes, where people then end up having amputations and loss of eyesight and all that. Because vitamin C is so important in building tissue, building collagen, building blood vessels, and all the collagen in our body. But if it is competing with sugar, then obviously there's going to be trouble. So yes, we need to always encourage people to manage the weight. And unfortunately, we don't know how to do that. We don't know how to tell people not to eat processed foods, because out there, that is what is available. And we need just to get back to the basics all the time. And I think that's what we learn in NeoLife. Yeah.
Guys, may I add
Andre,
something?
Go for it. Yes.
In relation to weight and diabetes are so closely related, it is also true that if the body is properly nourished, it doesn't get the hunger messages in the same way. So you eat less. So the reason people put on a lot of weight is that they're not underfed. They are actually eating a lot, but the food that they are eating does not carry the nutrients that the body requires. So very soon after they have eaten, aside from the sugar dips and so on, the body says, well, that was great, but I need more. And what the body is not saying, the body's not saying I need more calories. It's saying I need more nutrients. And we feed it the wrong stuff, and this cycle continues, and we just put on weight. So for a lot of people, when they are fundamentally well nourished, and that is with the shake and the Formula 4, they just don't feel hungry as often. You don't feel the need to eat as often. And so your weight starts to normalize, and all the other things start to normalize as well. And you're much less likely to eat the junk that stimulates the blood sugars and causes all the other ailments. So a good solid foundation of nutrition is absolutely fundamental at every level.
And
Wonderful.
There was actually a question that I saw flash past about addictions and addiction to alcohol. That's the same principle.
It is the same principle. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, guys. So just a message to the distributors. We don't need to be nutrition specialists. And that's something I learned early in my NeoLife journey, is I don't need to become a nutrition specialist. You don't need to become a nutrition specialist. And yes, we are in the nutrition business, so we should become informed and attend our product trainings. But we should be comfortable if a customer asks us a question, we should be comfortable enough to say, you know what, I don't know the answer to that question. I'm not the specialist, but I know somebody who will be able to answer that question. And then we have the wonderful doctors on the team. We have Liz Geertz. We are backed by the most incredible scientific advisory board. Okay, so I want you to know that as a distributor, you don't need to be the expert. You're backed by incredible experts. And then the other thing I want to talk about, and this is something that my sponsor taught me early in the business, is we need to fall back onto the basics. And very often we get very caught up in, okay, somebody's got that, what is the targeted solution for that? Remember, our mission is to make this world a healthier and a happier place. We're not going to achieve that mission by helping every sick person become healthy again. Okay, yes, we will help some of them along the way, which is fantastic. But we are really going to achieve that mission by helping the healthy people stay healthy. Prevention is better than cure. Andre mentioned it in her talk. Don't wait for that sledgehammer to hit you over the back of the head before you wake up and do something about it. Prevention is better than cure. And I had a question from a lady the other day that came in, and somebody she loved very much had complete kidney failure. And she said, what can I give him? I've got to help this man. And I said, you know what? It's probably too late. I don't know what we can do. But what I suggest you do is go and talk to the people that you love dearly, that are healthy, and you get them onto some good nutrition so they never go through the same thing. And we fall back on the basics. And before we start targeting our solutions, let's get people to start the basics. The Pro Vitality, the shake, those are the basics. And if that doesn't fall into the budget, then we can downscale that to the Formula 4, or even the Trainin and the carotenoid, or the Trainin and the omega-3. But let's fall back onto the basics, because we know the Lord has given us amazing bodies. And when we put the right nutrition into our bodies can do incredible things. And we hear these stories all the time. We hear these amazing stories. And so as a distributor, I want you to really hold on to the basics that we have so well. And once people have the basics and they're giving the body everything it needs, then we can look at adding all these targeted solutions. What is the best way to find a targeted solution? Go to your product catalog, and in there you have your immunity. List all the products for the immunity. In there you have your weight loss programs. In there you have your kids nutrition, all the targeted solutions, your brain health, your heart health. You can find all the products that will target those areas. So guys, I just want to thank you very much for your time. We've got a very, very exciting week coming up next week. On Monday morning at 10 a.m., we have 5-diamond director Charlie Bolton teaching us how to build our business and succeed in NeoLife. That's at 10 a.m., building your business with Charlie Bolton. And then on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., we have Liz Geertz on the line again. We're keeping Liz busy. Liz Geertz is going to be talking. Her topic is targeted solutions for everybody and every budget. And she'll be focusing on the basics and how we can target solutions towards that. And then on Friday, this time next week, we have a dream panel with a few of our president's team members, and you don't want to miss that. So guys, thank you so much for your time. Distributors on the call today and NeoLife family, to Liz Geertz, Dr. Cesar, Dr. Bland, Dr. Van der Hoeven, thank you guys. We appreciate you so, so much. We will be getting a recording of this out to everybody probably later on today. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Drew.
Thanks, Drew.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.